India is going to send off Chandrayaan-3. The expense of this mission is 615 rupees crores. This is ISRO's most troublesome mission to date. For what reason is it essential to burn through cash on ISRO? Tackle the issue of neediness in the nation first. Why does it matter to India on the off chance that we go to space? In the present video, we'll know why India needs to go to the moon for the third time. What have Indian gained from previous slip-ups? Furthermore, how have they moved along? Furthermore, what are the targets of the Chandrayaan-3 mission? Also, what are the mission targets? Furthermore, why does India's space program matter to us? Space is my #1 subject. Also, I love sharing India's space process with you. To see additional intriguing recordings like this, remember to buy in or follow the channel. It is free for you, yet it helps us a ton. For what reason is Chandrayaan significant? Chandrayaan is significant not just for India's space program, yet additionally for India's economy. Why? We should find out about it in this video. Frequently when we watch a space narrative, it appears to be that the moon isn't a long way from the Earth. Yet, in all actuality, there is an immense distance between the moon and the Earth that every one of the planets of our planetary group can in the middle between. The moon is exceptionally far. We have made sense of that in this video. Moon isn't simply a satellite yet an international achievement. At the point when we discuss the moon arrival, we see pictures of Neil Armstrong and Buzz Aldrin before our eyes. Be that as it may, not very many individuals would be aware. Before America handled the moon, USSR arrived at the moon with Luna 2. That too 10 years before the Apollo 11 mission. Obviously, Russia has never sent people to the moon. Yet, arriving at the moon was the first. There are just 3 nations on the planet that have done delicate arriving on the moon: America, Russia, and China. A delicate landing implies a protected landing. That is, the shuttle ought to protect it after land. This delicate landing is vital. Since once Indian demonstrate that ISRO can execute a delicate landing, then Indian can occupy significant global room projects. NASA is doing projects like this today. Furthermore, bringing in an enormous amount of cash. Indian can take a couple of ventures as well. Indians certainly arrived at the moon in 2008 through Chandrayaan-1. Yet, it was a moon effect test that did a hard landing. A long time back, the primary goal of Chandrayaan-2 was to execute a delicate arriving on the moon. Chandrayaan's send-off was fruitful. Indian effectively finished, as a matter of fact. The distance of 384,400 km from Earth to the moon. However, while landing, in spite of being just a portion of a kilometer away from the outer layer of the moon, Indian couldn't land because of a product misfire. The arrangement was that Bikram meanderer would read up the moon's surface for 14 days. Also, send us the data. However, the mission was passed on inadequate because of the disappointment of specialized gadgets. Presently, Chandrayaan-3 needs to amend this misstep. This is a once-in-a-lifetime chance for India to show further developed innovation to the world. There is something exceptional about Chandrayaan 3. What's more, that is all there is to it. Landing area. Earth and Moon are in an uneven relationship. You should realize that the Earth is tidally locked to the Moon, implying that only one side of the Moon is generally noticeable to the Earth. Also, not the opposite side. 41% of the Moon stays stowed away from the Earth. Additionally, there are huge cavities on the south pole of the Moon, where daylight has not gone after billions of years. By concentrating on these pits, we can get significant data about the beginnings of our nearby planet group. It is accepted that water might be concealed in these holes. We're not discussing minuscule amounts. 100 million tons of water. Simultaneously, it is believed to be a wellspring of fundamental assets like hydrogen, smelling salts, methane, sodium, mercury, and silver. This area can turn into a significant stop for impending space missions. Why this mission is unique? What was the improvement in Chandrayaan 2 and Chandrayaan 3? There are 5 focuses. We'll see every individually. Number 1 is the payload. Our payload in the 2019 mission was a touch more muddled. There were 3 fundamental parts: the lander, the meanderer, and the orbiter. In the 2023 mission, payload has been improved. This time we just have the meanderer and the lander. In 2019, orbiter finished its main goal. So this time there was compelling need to incorporate the orbiter. Number 2, strong lander. The group of Chandrayaan 3 has learned significant examples from the mix-ups of Chandrayaan 2. The legs of our lander have been made more grounded than the previous rendition, so it can all the more likely oppose the effect of landing. What's more, endure the arrival. Prior motor was not excessively strong, so it couldn't lessen its speed in time prior to landing. What's more, it fell about 750 meters from the specific spot where it should land. Presently, the motor limit of lander has been expanded. Simultaneously, a peril recognition framework has likewise been added to it. Number 3, instruments. The Moon turns into an extraordinary stage to concentrate on the planet, from which we can gather information about our Earth and plan future missions. They can be utilized for atmospheric condition discovery, as well as in the event that investigations of exoplanets. Chandrayaan 3 will have an instrument named SHAPE, which implies spectropolarimetry of livable planet Earth. SHAPE will peruse Earth's information. Also, use it to find tenable exoplanets outside our planetary group. Number 4, send-off vehicle. The send-off of Chandrayaan 3 is significant in view of another explanation. Also, that is the LVM-3 send-off vehicle, which is fit for conveying 30% more weight than our most memorable GSLV Imprint 2 send-off vehicle. In basic language, it implies the outcome of this send-off vehicle is likewise significant for India, since with this send-off vehicle, Indian can send heavier payloads into space. Indian will actually want to demonstrate abilities to the world. Number 5 is the expense. We sent off Chandrayaan 2 for around 870 rupees crores. Coincidentally, this cost is multiple times not exactly the Avengers' Endgame. In any case, presently Indian have become more effective. Also, the absolute financial plan of Chandrayaan 3 will be approx 615 rupees crores. This is the evidence of our rising productivity. Is ISRO a misuse of cash? At the point when India sent off Chandrayaan, the New York Times ridiculed Indian by distributing this animation. For what reason don't such kids shows about China? Is there no neediness in China? India is an arising country. India is a majority-rule government. But then it is assuming a significant part in areas like space. Maybe this thing isn't absorbable to a few Western individuals. Then they pose an inquiry like, might India at any point manage the cost of a space program? We should pose a straightforward inquiry. What amount do we spend on our space program consistently? Satish Dhawan sir realized that questions would have been collected on cash given to ISRO. That is the reason when he turned into the head of ISRO, he used to take just 1 Indian rupee as pay. What's more, ISRO conveys the tradition of this proficiency even today. See this diagram. Indian have been expanding the spending plan of our space program reliably. Throughout the previous 20 years, that's true. Be that as it may, this is just 0.8% of our gross domestic product. To place things into point of view, Indian burned through 36,000 crores to run our postal administrations. In any case, what do Indian get with this cash? Get to watch out for cordial neighbor China. China is so joined to India that it continues to send its kin to Arunachal and Ladakh, making settlements there. Furthermore, progressively it takes India's property utilizing the onion cutting strategy. Yet, ISRO's satellite sends this data to security. Furthermore, in excess of 10 observation satellites notice China's maritime exercises. At the point when the Fani tornado came in 2019, ISRO's satellites gave ideal alerts. Because of the data from these satellites, 11.5 lakh individuals were securely emptied from Odisha. Today Odisha has become number 1 in catastrophe the executives. What's more, joined countries additionally encourages different nations to learn Odisha's catastrophe the board model. ISRO gives information subsequent to concentrating on our geology. What's more, utilizing this information can give direction to the ranchers. By getting data about quakes, typhoons, and floods ahead of time, can be more ready. Also, decrease the harm. And this is conceivable in light of satellites. ISRO's financial plan is multiple times not as much as NASA. Furthermore, even with such a low financial plan, ISRO's researchers improve your and our lives. What's more, not just for us. ISRO additionally dispatches satellites for unfamiliar nations. Also, brings in cash from it. Until this point in time, Indian have sent off a sum of 239 satellites for 28 nations. The entire world has such a lot of confidence in India's ability and proficiency. It involves pride for us. Space has turned into an extravagant industry. What's more, through Chandrayaan 3, utilize the intriguing metals and minerals on the moon for the fate of mankind. Toward the start of the video, we said that ISRO is additionally significant for India's economy. As of late, space new businesses in India got a major lift. Also, ISRO is empowering and directing many space new companies. Since the satellite sending off industry has turned into a $13 billion industry today, also being $24 billion in the following 5 years going. On the off chance that we can catch even 20% of this industry, we can bring multiple times the cash of our space spending plan to India consistently. What's more, Vikram Sarabhai knew this. He is known as the dad of the Indian space program. At the point when Nehruji told Vikram Sarabhai that India is an unfortunate country, we have numerous social issues, we can't bear the cost of a space program. So Sarabhai answered back, "Indeed, we are an unfortunate country, we have numerous social issues. Furthermore, that is the reason we really want a space program." This vision is taking ISRO higher than ever today, where different nations use space for weaponization. We use it to improve humankind. Assuming you got esteem from this video and got to discover some new information, then, at that point, remember to follow us. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and share. Thank you so much for watching.